Then I took a smidge and applied it down there.
This One's Wife. With love, Meghan. Netflix hates it. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. You've seen the trailer. You have been given an appetizer for what is to come in the 8 episodes of 33 minutes each for This One's Wife's new series, With Love, Meghan. Overall, the reaction has been one of ridicule. Her dwindling band of supporters claim they're looking forward to it, but many people demonstrated they've no interest in her, and the remainder pointed out how inauthentic it looked, how she has plagiarized so many concepts, which I have explained in my video, a total fraud, and how it's all par the course for this unimaginative narcissist. But what about Netflix? Well, as you know, This One's Wife and Harry signed up with a $100 million contract back in 2020 to much fanfare, and I think it's fair to say that the return on investment has been piss poor for Netflix. So much so that they evidently thought that they were going to get all of the dirt and the gossip from the gruesome twosome, and found out that in actual fact it just turned into a whinge fest and a load of revisions of history. That then they thought, well, we'd better get them to create something. Oh dear, they're a pair of empty heads. They haven't got an original thought between them. He's suggesting polo and she wants to do cookery. It's evident that Netflix thinks this is an utter clusterfuck. How so? Well, as I mentioned in a preceding video, they kept the comments on for the trailer when it was posted to their channel, with the consequent slaughter that took place. And as I explained, I view this as a deliberate step by Netflix so that they can essentially throw that in her face to either say, we're not contracting with you again, look at the reaction to your latest offering, or we'll give you a contract, but it's going to be for £3.50. But I also thought that it would be useful gaining some professional input into how Netflix has launched With Love, Meghan. What are the insights of somebody that operates within the industry in relation to the launch of programs and events and series? And therefore I turned to my PR expert and invited her to provide us with her observations and insight, which provides a very firm conclusion that Netflix hates this series. My PR expert is currently working with one of the streaming giants at the moment, one of the biggies, and therefore she's able to compare how this streaming giant treats new content versus Netflix handling of This One's Wife's With Love, Meghan. My PR expert stated in no uncertain terms the launch strategy, or rather the lack thereof, speaks volumes about how Netflix regards this as rubbish, how they can't wait to get rid of this contract, and how they view it as something that is basically a millstone around their necks. In the case of the streaming giant that my PR expert is working with, they release premium shows at the right time to maximize their appeal. Accordingly, festive or cozy holiday content lands before Christmas. Seasonal shows, like this cooking lifestyle hybrid of This One's Wife, would ordinarily be slated for spring or early summer, when audiences are naturally inspired by fresh produce, sunny kitchens, and vibrant outdoor living. Releasing a show like this in January demonstrates it's been rushed. Her clear take from this is that Netflix is trying to fulfill quietly its contractual obligations and then move on. If With Love, Meghan were truly a strong show, Netflix would have backed it with a serious promotional campaign. The streaming giant that my PR expert is working with, they believe in investing in great content worldwide, with events, pre-screenings, creative guerrilla marketing, live screenings, robust social media campaigns. Where's all of that with This One's Wife's programme? In stark contrast, this series appears to have been tossed out with minimal effort, just the usual mentions on Netflix standard platforms. There's no Netflix-generated buzz, no excitement, no investment. That alone suggests Netflix has low expectations for its success. Now, it might be argued that Netflix knows that This One's Wife is very well known, and therefore would think to themselves, well, why would we need to promote it? It's This One's Wife. Look what's happened. Every newspaper has commented upon it. News outlets have commented upon it. Social media has commented upon it. People across YouTube have created videos about it. It's getting tons of publicity. But a lot of this publicity is ridicule and criticism. It isn't being portrayed in a positive light. And my PR expert points out that with the streaming giant that she's working with, they are promoting programs involving people who are worldwide famous, but they still have these positive campaigns to ensure that it succeeds. Netflix haven't bothered. The timing, therefore, is odd for a program of this nature, which suggests that Netflix hates it. And there's also the tone-deaf disconnect of the show itself. Filmed in the summer, With Love, Meghan features seasonal products, summery clothes, and a vibe which is entirely at odds with January's post-holiday doldrums. If this were an actual meaningful project, why not release it in April or May, when audiences would naturally embrace its seasonal themes? Or, on the other hand, launch it in time for Christmas, when families are gathered at home with time to enjoy feel-good shows, and with budgets to spend on luxury products, which these shows invariably promote. It's hard to ignore the telling decision by Netflix to avoid the competitive holiday season. That's a move that speaks volumes about the show's inability to stand up to the rich tapestry of festive, heartfelt content audiences crave in December. Even in January's relative quiet, the show feels out of place, a hollow, overproduced project that fails to offer anything meaningful or relatable. Furthermore, there are no products to promote on the show because American Riviera Orchard, as we know, is rotting in a shallow grave. This One's Wife's idea of authenticity appears to be as rented as the kitchen she's filming in, far removed from her $40 million mansion, and even further from the lives of viewers, who are more likely focused on frugal post-holiday budgets and resolutions to slim down than on recipes drenched in opulence. The entire concept reaps of entitlement, a let-them-eat-cake indulgence packaged as feel-good lifestyle advice. The rushed January release signals a clear intent. Netflix hates this show and is eager to get this show and its contract with This One's Wife out of the way. My PR expert explains that her advice to her streaming giant would never time such a program for January. You'd struggle to justify the timing of such content. And therefore, since Netflix have their own PR advisors and have been content for it to launch in January, it shows that basically Netflix couldn't give a flying fuck any longer. This apathy extends also to the trailer's handling, something I've spoken about previously, with Netflix leaving the comment section open. That is a highly unusual move, my PR expert tells me, for thin-skinned celebrity projects like this. My PR expert also agrees with me that they're laying the groundwork to show This One's Wife just how disliked she is, using public sentiment as leverage to cut ties. Comment sections are undeniably the best way to gauge the public's mood, and in this case the reception has been predictably brutal, reinforcing the growing narrative that this is a poorly conceived, poorly executed vanity project. This One's Wife's own actions aren't helping matters either. Her newly launched Instagram, timed solely to promote the show, contains nothing personal, no causes, no life updates, just one transparent effort to sell this series. It's an all eggs in one basket gamble, one that makes it painfully obvious that, as usual with this one's wife, there's no plan B. Ultimately, my expert tells me that with Love, Meghan feels like a misstep in every way, from its weak content and disconnected themes to its ill-timed release and half-hearted promotion. While Netflix may have been hoping for a quiet flop to close the chapter on this partnership, it's becoming increasingly clear that they hate the show, and they've simply highlighted why they are ready to move on. So there we are. Insight from the PR expert, someone well-versed in dealing with streaming giants, demonstrating all that is wrong with this show, and moreover, the lack of support from Netflix, which demonstrates they hate it. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.